Welcome to Proven and Probable, where we focus on metals, mining, and more. I'm your host, Maurice Jackson. Today, we will highlight a company that has established itself as a premier project generator. I'm speaking of Millrock Resources, trading on the TSXV symbol MRO and on the OTCQX symbol MLRKF. Joining us today is Gregory Beischer. He is the president, CEO, and director of Millrock Resources. Mr. Beischer, welcome to the show, sir.
Thanks very much, Maurice. Good to be here again.
Glad to have you back, sir. Gregory, Millrock Resources has had a very busy week publishing 3 press releases. Let's begin our discussion in Mexico at the La Navidad. What can you share with us regarding trench results?
Yeah, thanks, Maurice. It has been a busy time, active on many fronts, but La Navidad project is one of the most active. We've been working away since February, doing several different types of surveys, but mostly we've done trenching, so cutting through the soil with an excavator, exposing the rock so that we can collect rock samples, continuous chip samples along the length of the trench. And so we've announced the results of that work. 19 different trenches were excavated, and we got some pretty darn good results. I would point out trench number 6, for example, where we got 16 meters of rock that averaged 0.59 grams per ton gold. That's a decent width at a decent grade, and that's the sort of grade that we're looking for in this type of deposit. We seek here an orogenic deposit. This type of deposit has large volumes of relatively low-grade gold. So we've got the grade. In places, we've got the width exposed at surfaces in the trenches, but ultimately we need thicker intersections than most that are listed here in this table. So the only way to find that is to drill. So we started drilling about a month ago, and drilling continues now.
Speaking of drilling, in addition with this press release, you have some great news for shareholders. Centerra Gold, who is the JV partner on La Navidad, just made a decision regarding the future drilling. What can you comment on that?
Right. Well, we had initially been authorized to drill a number of holes totaling around 1,500 meters. And then we were meant to pause, evaluate the results before authorization to continue would be given. But upon review, Centerra said, well, let's just go ahead and drill the entire program that was proposed in the order of 2,900 or 3,000 meters. So we will just, no break, just keep drilling. And that is in progress now.
Moving on from Sonora, Mexico, let's move on to New Mexico, where Millrock made another strategic move. Talk to us about staking and claims being sold.
Yes, New Mexico seems to be an emerging jurisdiction and destination for mineral investment. It's opened up. It's a state that's now much more open to mining than it was. Millrock's actually been in New Mexico for a number of years. We own a uranium deposit in the state, and we continue to hold those claims. But more recently, we acquired claims on a lithium brine project and immediately sold them to a company called Jinda Corporation. So it was a good move for us. We didn't have to put a lot of our cash resources to work to acquire the claims, but have immediately recouped that investment, and we're now a large shareholder of Jinda Corporation, and we will hold a royalty if there's ever a discovery of a viable lithium brine mine. And so it's something new for us. We know that there's lots of companies pursuing very similar geologic prospects in Nevada, And we thought, well, why not New Mexico? And there was really no competition in this area, so we staked it and sold it all in one move.
Yesterday's press release really speaks to Millrock's business acumen. Before we leave New Mexico, give us the name of the uranium project we have there.
We call it the Red Basin Project. It's a deposit of uranium, actually, that was discovered by Gulf Minerals back in the 1970s, and they delineated it with quite a number of drill holes. We don't have the drill hole data, but we understand that there's a reasonable size deposit, not verified yet. But we own the claims over the deposit and covering below surface where we suspect that there could be extensions of mineralization. And the idea would be to recover any uranium deposit by in situ mining methods, very low cost mining that's being done in Texas and in Kazakhstan, elsewhere in the world. And so it was a target of opportunity. We saw it come open and available for staking some years ago, and so we've staked the claims. Uranium markets not in good shape, although maybe there's signs of life. We expect, though, that uranium will one day increase in price, and we fully expect that we'll be able to vend our claims or make an agreement to see a partner explore those.
For our audience, it's important to remember that as a shareholder of Millrock Resources, that you have exposure to gold, silver, lithium, copper, and uranium, which speaks to the value proposition that we have before us. Finally, moving on to Alaska, Millrock issued a press release regarding the Alaska Range Project, which is funded by PolarX. Are the drills turning there yet, sir?
You bet. We know we have a copper gold deposit there. And so our partner, PolarX, is funding the work. Millrock's executing it. I've just returned from site, actually. The crew is all comfortably installed, and it's a real beehive of activity. Both drill rigs are turning at present. We're drilling holes that, if are successful in hitting the target, will extend the known deposit significantly along strike to the east. And that would be good news for everybody.
Gregory, I want to commend you and the entire Millrock team for working laboriously to make these projects come to fruition. Because of press releases such as the aforementioned, Millrock Resources once again has been hand-selected by Rick Rule to be an attendee at the Sprott Natural Resource Symposium, which will be held the 17th through the 20th of July in Vancouver, British Columbia. That speaks volumes for Millrock Resources. Congratulations, sir.
Oh, thanks, Maurice. So we're looking forward to it. This will be the third year running that we've participated in this conference, and I look back at them. We've been really dragging along the bottom of the market for those entire 3 years, and I keep feeling like we're on the verge of a breakout in the general markets in mining, but it hasn't really come yet. But I know that I've seen quite a few cycles in the mining business now, and it's got to change at some point. And all those roughly 50 companies that are hand selected by Mr. Rule to participate are going to do very, very well.
Speaking of Mr. Rule, he and I were in New Orleans 2 years ago, and we were having a private discussion, and I know he doesn't mind me sharing this, but he said, everyone is a contrarian when the price goes up. This is the time to deploy your capital, ladies and gentlemen, to companies such as Millrock Resources. I know that Sprott thinks highly of them, and there's a reason why, as we've heard in today's interview. Mr. Beischer, what is the next unanswered question for Millrock? When should we expect an answer, and what determines success?
Sure. Well, I think the mark of any successful project generator is how many partners have you generated to fund work on the projects? We find it pretty easy to generate projects, Maurice, but the harder part is convincing mining companies with cash to part with it to test our geologic ideas. So we're working hard all the time, showing our projects to potential partners, and we've done quite a lot of that lately. It's clear that mining companies have bigger exploration budgets than they have in past years because they're really shopping. And I'm reasonably confident that we're going to have new partnerships formed in Sonora, Mexico on some of our projects there, and also one new one we've developed in Alaska. So that's what we've been working on mostly, and that you can expect potentially some news on soon.
All right. Now, if Plan A doesn't work, what is Plan B?
Well, it really does come down to partner funding, Bruce, and so we're sticking with Plan A. We know it works. We're not going to deviate from our model, and we're close enough. And I know, like I say, major mining company budgets have certainly improved, and that's what we'll stick with. We'll raise most of our funding by joint venturing our projects with other companies.
Last question. What did I forget to ask?
Well, Maurice, you didn't ask about our share price. Millrock share price is, since you and I last talked, increased a fairly substantial amount. And, I think finally the market's recognizing that Millrock has a lot of potential catalysts. We've got two drills, two projects being drilled now. I know another one will be drilling soon. So we'll have a drill turning on one project or another throughout the rest of 2018. And every one of those drill holes is a chance to make the discovery that'll really propel Millrock's share price. But it's nice to see the share price improving and rewarding our shareholders.
Gregory, if someone listening wants to get more information regarding Millrock Resources, please share the contact details.
Sure. It's easiest just to Google our website, millrockresources.com, and you'll find all the contact information there.
And last but not least, please visit our website, www.provenandprobable.com, where we interview the most respected names in the natural resource space. You may reach us at contact@provenandprobable.com. Gregory Beischer of Millrock Resources, thank you for joining us today on Proven and Probable.
My pleasure, Maurice. Talk to you soon.
And for our listeners, we want to share that Millrock Resources is a sponsor of Proven and Probable, and that we are proud shareholders of Millrock Resources for the virtues conveyed in today's message.
Thank you for joining us today on Proven and Probable. Remember to like and subscribe for more conversations with the most respected names in the natural resource space. Check out our website at www.provenandprobable.com. The information presented on Proven and Probable is provided for educational and informational purposes only, without any express or implied warranty of any kind, including warranties of accuracy, completeness, or fitness for any particular purpose. The information is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, or trading advice, or any other advice. You should not make any financial, investment, or trading decision based on any of the information presented without first undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional broker or competent financial advisor.